What do you mean you used to be a Marine? You're not making any sense.
What part of I used to be a Marine isn't clicking for you?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the part where, when we met, you told me you were a bounty hunter. Why'd you tell me you were a bounty hunter if you were a Marine?
Because I wasn't a Marine when we met. Not anymore.
Usually I don't mind you being a smartass, because I find it endearing. But right now you're just pissing me off. You're not making any sense. Explain. What do you mean?
I was a good Marine. I was good at what I did. I was in line to become a captain eventually. I was too good, I guess. I ended up getting removed from my original unit and sent to a base that needed more hands. Unfortunately, the captain of that base was a real bastard, to put it lightly.
So you left and became a bounty hunter?
No, I tried to stay. I tried to make it work. I tried talking some sense into the kid because his dad wasn't going to listen, but he's a brat. And the townspeople were too scared of them to do anything. So I tried to report them to HQ. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that the only snail transponder that actually went off island was the one in the captain's office. The one I used, they found out. They didn't take too kindly to being ratted on.
What happened when they found out?
I got tied up out in the yard like a pirate. No food, no water. I was just lucky it rained. They left me there for a week. And then when they did finally let me out, I was demoted to chore boy. Told I had to earn back my privileges.
So that's when you left and became a bounty hunter then?
No. I still believed in the world government at that point. I thought if I could just get a message to HQ that somebody would do something, that this could be fixed, but I didn't get that far.
What do you mean? What happened?
On one of my probationary patrols, we stumbled across some kids playing pirates. Captain's son wanted to arrest them for pirate idolization and traitor ideation. I refused. He tried to do it himself. I broke his nose. This time, I got thrown in a cell. I guess it was better than the yard. At least I was safe from the elements.
How long?
They left me in there for a month. At least they fed me this time, but when I finally got out, they had demoted me to chore boy again, with the promise that I would never be anything more than. And it was that point I realized that I couldn't do this by the book. I couldn't bide my time and get to the captain's office. I had to get off island if I wanted help. So, I was a good chore boy. I did laundry, cleaned the weapons cache, swept the floors, mopped, dusted. And little by little, every day, I collected little bits of gunpowder, discarded bullets, anything I could. I stashed them away in my cell, in my mattress. After a few months, I'd collected enough supplies that I was ready to escape. I took the baggie of gunpowder that I'd stashed in my bed and I laid a line across the windowsill. I just planned on heating up the stone enough that I could push the bars out, but I ended up causing a minor explosion. Fortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, the base where I was manned by idiots. So in the confusion, I managed to slip out. Grabbed one of our scout ships that takes 3 or 4 people to man and set sail.
I'm failing to see how this explains you posing as a bounty hunter when we met.
I'm getting there. Just give me a second. The plan was to get to the nearest Marine base, report him from there. But Captain was smarter than I gave him credit for, and he called ahead. Told them I was a traitor, had just committed treason, and blown up the base. He failed to mention how small the explosion was or why I'd done it. Figures. So when I got there, I wasn't met with open arms or welcome, but rather hostility and a pair of cuffs. Knocked out the guards and fled again. I tried 3 more times, but by the time I'd make it to each base, word had traveled. And by the 3rd one, I realized I couldn't rely on the government anymore. No one was going to help me. No one was going to listen. They didn't care what I had to say. As far as the government was concerned, I was as bad as a pirate.
So if you realize that the world government is full of shit, why did you become a bounty hunter that just helps them?
Because once I stopped drinking the Kool-Aid, I realized that the government was never going to do anything about the corrupt Marines. They're just going to ignore them, cover them up. That's when I came up with a plan. I cut and dyed my hair, started wearing different clothes, sometimes a hat, sometimes a mask, depended on the day. And I started posing as a bounty hunter. I'd bring in low bounty pirates so I wouldn't raise any suspicion. And then I used the opportunity to get a good look at the base, figure out where everything was. Then I'd look around the town, figure out if the base that I was in was corrupt or not. Once I decided that it was, I'd sneak in during shift change, light a fire in the weapons cache. More often than not, they didn't realize there was one until it was too late, and it leveled the building. Then I'd move on to the next town. Got the government's attention, they started looking into the bases. More often than not, they actually found that the Marines or the captain stationed there were corrupt, so I guess I did some good, but turns out they didn't really appreciate my method of getting their attention, which got me the bounty. The night we met, I was looking for a pirate to bring in the next day. You gave me a better offer.
That was you? I remember hearing about a string of poorly maintained armories that led to explosions, but we all just assumed it was the Marines getting lazy. No wonder your bounty's so high. Why didn't you ever tell me about this? Why didn't you ever say anything? Why'd you lie when we met?
Honestly, I didn't plan on staying when we first met. I was just going to use your doctor to get better, and then as soon as I could, jump ship and get back to what I was doing. It was one more pirate enemy, you know. But after being here for about a week, I didn't want to leave. Came to really like the crew. Really like the captain. So I gave up on my mission and settled down. Became a pirate.
Once you decided to stay, why didn't you say anything then? Don't you think your crew deserved to know?
I didn't think you'd let me stay if I did. I didn't think you'd ever find out about the bounty. You're always so busy in towns. I didn't think you'd ever stop to check the wanted posters. Didn't count on Leroy and Jenkins.
So let me get this straight. You're a disgraced ex-Marine who went on an arson-fueled vigilante streak, and you lied to me and the crew for years about it.
That about sums it up, yeah.
That is the most underhanded, dirty, deceitful thing I've ever heard. It's kinda hot.
What?
What? You blew up Marine bases and got a giant bounty because one of them pissed you off. It's fucking hot. You're nuts! You'd be the one to know.
Yeah, I guess I would. So I'm not kicked out of the crew then?
Of course not. You're not getting out of the crew that easily. Besides, it's nice to know we have another pyromaniac in the crew. Could use somebody to help me blow shit up.
Uh-huh. Is that the only reason?
Well, maybe not the only reason.
You said I could have as many buggy balls as I wanted, right?
Yeah?
Well, I think I'd like 2 right now. And a cannon, if you're so inclined.
Oh! Oh. Oh.
Come on, Captain.
Don't have to tell me twice.